Hi everyone, welcome to day 15 of my 100 days challenge. Today we'll be solving one of the SQL question asked in Zomato data analyst interview. So let's see the question. Now the question says you are given two table of Zomato, which is restaurant table and the orders table. Each restaurant are supposed to dispatch the order within 15 minutes. If the restaurant dispatch the order within 15 minutes, we call it on-time dispatch. If their dispatch time, which is 15 to 20 minutes after the order received, we call it late dispatch. And if they dispatch after 15 minutes, we call it super late dispatch. Your task is to write an SQL query to count the number of dispatch order in each category for each restaurant. Now these are the two tables we have, which is restaurant ID, restaurant name, and the location. This is the restaurant table. We have the order table, which is the order ID, restaurant ID, order time, and the dispatch time. So let's see how we can solve this type of question. I have already created the table and inserted the data to solve this question. So let me first show you the restaurant table. So let's run this query, and we have 5 restaurants, and let's see how many orders we have. So we have 15 orders for all these 5 restaurants. So we need to find out how many orders falls into on-time dispatch and how many orders fall into late dispatch and how many orders fall into super late dispatch for each restaurant. So first thing I need to do is that I need to join this restaurant table with this order table based on this restaurant ID, because in order table we have restaurant ID. In the restaurant table also we have a restaurant ID. So we can do a join here to join both the table so that we can have the information in one table. Then we can see how we can solve this question. So I'm just going to say select everything from orders as O. I'm just giving a short name to this order table as O. I'm doing inner join because I need everything from both the table, all the rows based on this restaurant ID. So I'm going to say join and restaurants as R. So let me just copy paste the spelling, that's correct, on R dot ID and O dot restaurant ID. So in the restaurant table, the ID column is the restaurant ID. In the order table, ID is the restaurant ID. Let's just quickly verify it. In the order table, we have ID and we have restaurant ID. So I'm joining based on this restaurant ID from the restaurant table and restaurant ID from the order table. Now the join is done. Let's run this query to see the columns. Then we can select a specific column that we need. So we have restaurant ID, we have order time, dispatch time, order ID, name of the restaurant, and the locations. So we need few columns. So I'm just going to select few columns that I need to solve this question. So I will select restaurant ID, which is going to come from the restaurant table, or maybe any of the table will be fine. So R dot restaurant ID, which is first thing I need. Then I need the restaurant name. So I will select this one, which is called name, and that will come from R table, R dot name. Now then I need the order ID, order time, and the dispatch time. So I will need O dot ID, which is going to be order ID, and I will need O dot then order time, and I will need O dot dispatched time. Okay, these are the columns I need. So I will go ahead and run this query to select this few column. Let's go ahead and see R dot restaurant ID. So restaurant ID spelling, let's just quickly check. Does not exist. R dot restaurant ID. Okay, so in the restaurant table it's ID, not R dot restaurant ID. So we will say R dot ID. Now this is as a restaurant ID, we can save it as restaurant ID, because in the restaurant table the ID is the restaurant ID. So we have the restaurant ID, we have the name of the restaurant, we have the order ID, we have the order time, we have the dispatch time. So I'm just going to name it call as order ID, because just to ensure that there is no confusion with the names. So order ID, and I'm just going to give a name. I'm going to give a comma here. Let me run it again. So I have the table with all the 15 orders. Now I need to find out each restaurant and how many orders they have dispatched on time, which is within 15 minutes, how many orders they have dispatched, which is 15 to 20 minutes, and how many orders they have dispatched, which is greater than 20 minutes. Now I will be using these two columns to make a logic. Based on that, I will see like each orders and their dispatch time. So now what I need to find out for each restaurant, how many orders they have dispatched on time, which is within 15 minutes, how many orders they have dispatched, which is between 15 and 20 minutes, that's late dispatch, and how many orders they have dispatched, which is above 20 minutes, that's super late dispatch. So first I need to create column here where I can categorize each order based on this dispatch time. So to make it simple, what I'm going to do is that I will first create a column to see the difference between time of dispatch time and the order time. So I can call this column as dispatch time. So that's going to be dispatch time minus order time to see what is the difference between dispatch and the order time. And I can just call it anything, maybe dispatched, maybe time took, right? Time took to short form, maybe time took to D, which is time took to dispatch the order. So this should give us the time difference between the order and the dispatch time. Now you can see 15 minutes, 14 minutes, 18 minutes, 20 minutes, 14 minutes, 19 minutes, 10 minutes, and different time that each order took to dispatch by each restaurant. So here, based on this dispatch time, I can call it like either it's a late dispatch, I can call it either it is a super late dispatch or it's on time, right? So I will go ahead and create a new column here based on this logic, which is dispatch time. So I'll be using a case statement to create a column based on this logic. So I'm going to say case. So case goes like this: when and then. So simple statement when then, and you just need to write last statement, which is else, and you can just close the case here, and you can give any name to this column because this case statement is going to create a new column and that is going to apply for each row. Any of the condition is true, so this then logic is going to apply. So I'm just going to give it call dispatch category. Okay, so here what I want to check, the first condition what I want to check, if the order time and the dispatch time, the difference between order time and dispatch time is less than or equals to 15 minutes, correct? Because if the order time is at 12 o'clock and I want to ensure that if the dispatch time is within 12:15, if it is less than 12:15 or within 12:15, so that is what I want to call it on time dispatch. So I can use a simple interval functions here. So I can go ahead with this dispatch time, and I would say less than equals to order time. Okay, now I'm saying dispatch time less than equals to order time. So oops, not here, I'll just need to put it here. Dispatch time less than equals to order time. So I'm saying this side less than equals to this side. Order time would be always less, but dispatch time would always greater than the order time, correct? So I am saying this dispatch time is less than equals to this order time. Let's say if this order took place at 12 o'clock and this dispatch is either 12 o'clock or maybe less than 12 o'clock, which is not possible, right? So I will add a 15-minute buffer here. So I'm going to say plus, I will say interval. Okay, so I will just put the interval in quotes. So I would say interval 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm saying dispatch time less than equals to this side, which is this side. What this side is order time, let's say 12 o'clock, plus I'm giving 15-minute extra, so which is 12 to 12:15. So if I'm saying dispatch time which is less than equal to 12:15, if it is 12, then less than equals to and plus 15 minutes, I'm adding it here plus 15. So if this time is less than or equals to 12:15, then I want to call it on time. Okay, so then I'm going to call it on time dispatched. So this is my first condition. So it is going to check the order time. So let's say if the order time is 12 o'clock and it's going to add 15-minute extra here using this interval functions, and then it is going to compare if this dispatch time is either less than 12:15 or equals to 12:15. Okay, then it is going to call on time. So let's see what is the second condition we want to add. Again, we want to add something like the same, but this time we want to say if this dispatch time, okay, first of all, which is greater than 15, dispatch time, I'm going to copy it from here. Dispatch time is greater than order time plus 15 minutes. So here I'm saying this dispatch time is greater than order time plus 15 minutes, which is basically if the order is done at 12. So I'm saying this dispatch time must be more than 12:15, because here I'm adding 15-minute extra. So if this is true, then I want to check one more condition here. Okay, so this is my first condition, if it is greater than 15, but I will also need to check if it is less than what, if it is less than 20, right? So I'm going less than or equals to 20. So I'm going to add one more condition here. I'm going to say if this dispatch time, okay, using AND logic, I'm going to say if this dispatch time. Now here I'm going to say this again less than equals to, and I will be using the something like same, which is going to be here. So less than equals. Now here I'm saying first condition, this dispatch time must be greater than 15 minutes. First condition has to be true, and the second condition, it has to be less than or equals to, instead of 15 I'm going to change it to 20 minutes. Okay, so if this first condition is true, that means if the order is late by 15 minutes, which is dispatched after 15 minutes, and then it is going to check the second condition, if this order dispatch which is before 20 minutes, right, before or equals to 20 minutes, you can see it's less than equals to order time plus 20 minutes, right? So this is, I'm just adding a time with this, right? This time, whatever the time it is, I'm just adding 20 minutes extra, then I'm just comparing it, right? If both the condition are true, then I'm just going to call it late dispatched. Oops, late dispatched. Okay, now I would need to add one more condition, right? If in case it is more than 20 minutes, what I want to call it, I want to call it as super late dispatch, super late dispatch. So I need to ensure that each logic, they are separate with each other. So this, if you see the first logic, let me explain it again. See the first logic, it says dispatch time which is less than equals to right side. What do we have in the right side is this order time plus 15 minutes. Now if the order time is at 3 o'clock plus 15 minutes, that means the dispatch time is less than 3:15, less than or equal to 3:15, right? It could be 3:10, 3:05, 3 o'clock, right? So if that is true, simple, I'm just calling it on time dispatch, because this restaurant has dispatch on time within 15 minutes, right? Now here I am checking two conditions. First thing, it has to be more than 15 minutes, because if it is 15 minutes, automatically it falls here, right? If it is more than 15 minutes, it will not fall in this first logic, but it will fall in this second logic. It's more than 15 minutes. But I also want to check if it is less than or equals to 20 minutes. If yes, then I want to call it late dispatch. Otherwise, I want to call it super late dispatch, and I'm just saving this case as a dispatch category. So let's now run this query to see our new category group. So let's see quickly if there is a syntax error. Okay, so there is a slightly syntax error. I just need to put this interval outside, and here also I need to put this interval outside. So interval doesn't need quotes, so here I'm also going to remove this quotes from the interval. Okay, so everything remains same. I have just removed this quotes from the interval. Now let's go ahead and run this query. Now I can see this interval is a SQL properties, so you don't have to put inside the quotes. So let's go ahead and run this query, and let's see our new category column. Now let's see this one. See, dispatch within 14 minutes. So we can see the right batch, which is on time dispatch. This was dispatch within 18 minutes. So late dispatch, which is also correctly categorized. This one again 14 minute on time dispatch, 20 minute late dispatch. Now one thing you need to know, 20 minute late dispatch. Why? Because here we are saying dispatch greater than 15 minutes or less than or equal to 20 minutes. Even if it is shipped within 20 minutes, if it is dispatched within 20 minutes, we are calling it late dispatch. But if it is more than 20 minutes, like 21 minutes or 20.1 even second, then we want to call it a super late. So here you see it's 25 minutes, so super late dispatch. Now if you see here 25 minutes super late dispatch, right? So this is how we have created this dispatch category. Now we simply need to do a group by this restaurant name and this restaurant ID, and then we can count how many orders they have dispatched on time, how many orders they have dispatched which is late, and how many orders they have dispatched which is super late. So first of all, I'm going to use this column, and this column I just have created using this case, so I cannot use this column to do group by and other aggregation functions here. So what I will do, I will save this table in a CTE or subquery, and then I will use those column from that subquery or CTE. So I'm going to use the CTE here. So I'm going to say with. Now this is a very simple syntax. You say with, and you can just give a name called with, and I'm going to call it dispatched table. Okay, as. So I'm just going to put this whole query inside this quotes. Now I have all this column, whatever the column I have here inside this dispatch table. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to select few column here. I'm going to say select I want first of all this restaurant ID, then I need the restaurant name. So this name I'm going to save it call restaurant name, and I'm going to save it here restaurant name. What is the second column? And the third column I need this column, which is dispatch category. Now from I'm getting everything from this dispatch table, from the city basically. So let me run this query, and we will have our answer. So we have three columns. Now I need to do a group by this two column, and I want to count dispatch category. Okay, so let's go ahead and say I want to do group by this two column, which is restaurant ID and restaurant name. So group by restaurant ID, and next I want to do a group by restaurant name. Okay, now here this dispatch category I want to count, right? If I simply run this, it's going to simply count the each text one. Okay, now I can just show you, but it is not going to give us what we are looking for. Let me just show you. Must appear. Yeah, I just need to use a count functions here. So if I use a count functions here, it's going to simply tell us how many orders are dispatched by each restaurant ID and this restaurant name. Okay, I can see how many orders are shipped by each restaurant, but we are not able to see how many orders they shipped for each category, right? So what I can do, we can use again some case statement here. So let me first go ahead and remove it for now here. So now what I need for each restaurant, how many orders are dispatched in each category, like on time dispatch, late dispatch, or super late dispatch. So I'm going to say here, I'm going to use a count functions, and inside the count I'll be using case statement. So I'm going to say case when, and I'm going to use this dispatch category when dispatch category equals on time dispatch, then I want to call it 1, and I want to end this case here. Okay, I'm going to save it call on time dispatch. Okay, just this one. So this is my first thing. Second, what I do, I will do one more count here, but here I'm going to check this dispatch category. Instead of on time, I'm going to check it late dispatch, and I'm going to save it call late dispatch count. Okay, and I will need one more, which is here, and this time I'm going to say super late. Okay, super late dispatch, and I'm just again going to call it super late. So super late dispatch count. Okay, all these are count. I'm going to just name it called count Now I'm doing a group by these two columns, so I will have the count, right? So let's see what it is happening here. So I'm saying, hey, count. Now case statement, I'm saying, first of all, see, I have this data, right? So here I am basically converting this data into 0 and 1. So if it's on time dispatch, I'm creating a 3 new column. One is called on time, one is called late dispatch, one is called super late dispatch. So let me show you what I'm doing here. Okay, let me first come out of this count just to show you here. Okay, so let me first come out of this count to show you what I'm doing here. So I'm creating 3 columns using this case. Okay, so one is going to be for on time dispatch, one is going to be for late dispatch, one is going to be for super late dispatch. Now whenever there is a on time dispatch, in the on time dispatch they will have 1, else all the rest of the category will get 0. Similarly in the late dispatch, all the late dispatch will get 1, rest all the category will get 0, and same with the super late dispatch. Now let me run this query. Now I have not done group by yet, so let me first show you, because I need to convert this text into 1, right? So that we can make some logic here. So now I have for this restaurant ID A, so 1 on-time dispatch. Now for restaurant ID A, we can check how many on-time dispatch, right? So restaurant ID A, one more on-time dispatch. So I can now do a group by and count this, right? This is going to tell me how many dispatch on time I have for restaurant A, and I can put a count on this column as well. This is going to tell how many count of late dispatch we have for restaurant A, and super late dispatch we have for restaurant A, and same with restaurant B, C, and D and E. This null is not counted by this count functions, right? So we can use a count here, which is going to be aggregation functions on this 3 column, and we just need to do a group by this restaurant ID and this restaurant name. So I'm going to simply use count of this case, and I'll put it here. So count of this case, and I will put it here, count of this case, and I'll put a parenthesis here. So this is done. Now I can do a group by the restaurant ID and restaurant name that is going to count all this one, okay, and group the data into all the restaurant name that we have. So let's now run this query. This is going to give us the answer. Okay, there is an extra something I missed. Let's see. Okay, I put this n. I should have given this parenthesis which is outside this end. Let's run it again. Perfect. Now we have our result. Now you can see here we have each restaurant which is a name here, and their on-time dispatch, late dispatch, and the super late dispatch count. Now for the restaurant ID A, you see we have 2 on-time dispatch, we have 2 late dispatch, we have 0 super late dispatch. For restaurant ID B, we have 2 on-time, 1 late, and 0 super late. Now if you see bad performance, which is restaurant E, we have 0 on-time, which is 1 late and 2 super late. So this is how we have solved this today complicated interview question. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video till the end. Now if you really like this type of content and if you really enjoy solving this type of problem, do subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video. I have added this dataset in the video description. Just click the GitHub link and download the dataset and solve this question by yourself. Have a good day. See you tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.